Today we're gonna riff on a Doc Parks cocktail, the Vacation, that can be found inside the Minimalist Tiki book. If you follow Doc Parks, you may have heard him talk about his drinks as templates and then subbing in other ingredients. Maybe it's a different fruit syrup or different spirits entirely. Instead of a white rum, using something like a tequila. Doc's whole thing is being fun, and I appreciate that sort of outward display and flexibility. I know for many of us, we sometimes need a permission structure to change someone else's drinks. I'm guilty of that as well. And I like that Doc is just sort of openly out there trying to encourage people to have fun with his cocktails. The original recipe that was shared at Minimalist Tiki includes mango syrup, Real McCoy 3, rum JM Blanc, and Pisco. For the version I'm going to do today, I'm going to swap out the fruit syrup and the spirits. This is a tropical fruit syrup, and I made it with a frozen bag of tropical fruit blend from Trader Joe's. Now, fresh is not always best if you can't find ripe mangoes, the pineapples look off, or it's not strawberry season, but generally, when a fruit like this is frozen, they're usually freezing that during the peak seasons anyways, and for this, it was just easier. There's also some banana in here, which kind of adds this little bit of dimension to it and a little bit of a different tropical flavor. A good starting point for fresh or frozen fruit syrups is to take equal parts sugar to fruit and put it in a Ziploc bag or ideally a vacuum sealer and then put it in your fridge for 24 hours before straining. Now I have a refractometer, which is nice because it allows me to see the bricks and dial it in to whether I want a 2-to-1 syrup or a 1-to-1 syrup, but this, it's not necessary if you don't have one. Different fruits are gonna have different levels of sugar, obviously, and the more you do this, the easier it is to kind of wing it, but oftentimes I'll just reduce the amount of sugar. So if it's 500 grams of fruit, I might put in 450 grams of sugar. Now don't follow that as a template, but if you can't bricks test it, you can also just taste it. And does it taste sweet enough to you or not? Now, when I do this, I like to put less sugar in because I can always use my refractometer and then later on add more sugar if needed, or if I'm trying to get to a certain level, add more water. It just depends on what's going on there. But using that as a template, a 1-to-1, 1 part fruit by weight to 1 part sugar will get you kind of in the right ballpark for most fruits. But you should use whatever fruit syrup you want. And if you don't go back to the original recipe and use mango, that's gonna work well in this recipe as well. For the rums, I'm swapping out all of the original rums and the Pisco, and instead I'm gonna use Appleton Signature, Rum Fire, and Paranubes, which is a rum from Mexico. The rums from Mexico are hard to replace in a recipe, but this is a smaller proportion in the cocktail overall. So use whatever you want, but a claret could go well in here, cachaça, really anything else that offers a distinct flavor. In addition to the rums and the fruit syrup, you'll need vanilla angostura bitters, lime juice, pineapple juice, and falernum. Vanilla angostura bitters is a bottle of angostura bitters and a split vanilla bean in the bottle. This one still has the vanilla bean in the bottle, and it's been there about a week. This is something that Doc Parks and Pagan Idol was using, and you'll find it in many of his recipes. So let's make the Vacation, and I'm gonna build this in a drink mixer tin with 1 dash of vanilla angostura bitters, 3/4 ounces of lime juice, 1 ounce of pineapple juice, 1/2 ounce of tropical fruit syrup, 1/4 ounce of falernum, 1.5 ounces of Appleton Signature, 1/2 ounce of Rum Fire, and 1/2 ounce of Paranubes. All right, let's try this riff on Doc Parks' The Vacation. Well, I mean, it's delicious to start with. The rum flavor really comes through, the Appleton Signature as well as the Rum Fire. And if you're intimidated by Rum Fire, just a little bit there. And the Paranubes adds like a little bit of savoriness, but nothing too over the top. That tropical fruit syrup makes it taste like there's a lot more fresh juice in here. It's kind of, the flavor's kind of overpowering the pineapple, which I like, because the pineapple juice is great because it gives you that body and that texture. Gives you this like foam that's sitting here on the top that you can't really get outside of using pineapple juice. That with those tropical flavors and even the mango. There's not a lot of mango in that bag of fruit I use, but that mango flavor is kind of there in the background. So it's a lot like that original The Vacation from Doc Parks that's in the Minimalist Tiki book, because it has that mango flavor. Now, this is the first time I've ever had this rum blend, those three rums together at one time. And I gotta say, they work together so well. And as much as I want to take credit for putting those rums together, I think it's time that I come clean. So roll the tape. All right, so if I was going to do like a riff on The Vacation that's in the Minimalist Tiki book, and I want to change up the syrup and the spirits, do you have any advice?
Yeah, I would definitely, something like your tropical fruit syrup that we just tasted would be a great sub for like mango. If you didn't have mango, something like that would be great. And kind of like leaning on what I get from flavor wise from that syrup, I would maybe go in a direction of both leaning into it and finding flavors to complement with your spirit base. Okay. So for me, I would suggest maybe some Appleton Signature blend. Okay. Just a, beautiful, well-aged, or I should say lightly aged Jamaican rum that's not too hogo centric. And then maybe some Rum Fire, because then you'll get some of those nice banana notes that I was getting from your syrup as well. And then like some Paranubes.
Paranubes?
Yeah. I think those three rums together in a ratio that works for you could yield a really nice cocktail, especially using that vacation template.
Then that's what I'll do.
Cool.
So that's it for this one. I'm Derek. This is Make and Drink. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like below. Consider subscribing to the channel. And otherwise, see you on the next one. Oh, and if you're watching this on the day I post this video or the day or two after, this Friday, Doc Parks will be here to share a recipe. And he has an announcement about what he has going on in the near future. See you in the next one.